What up, Base Boos? We have a number of players currently on pace to hit more than 50 and perhaps 60 home runs. Is this too early to talk about a 1998 style home run race?
You play ball like a girl!
Yeah, this is baseball. You gotta stop thinking.
What up? This is Ghosty here. And yeah, if you haven't done so yet, man, just if you would like to, hit that little subscribe button right there to this crappy channel and maybe hit the bing bell notification whenever we have an upload. On this channel, we like to cover a lot of different topics: current day baseball, historical baseball, and as well as we integrated the Women's Pro Professional League, which is about to kick off here in August. Anyway, let's get down to our subject here today, and we are going to talk about the home run outburst that is happening right now in the MLB. First, let's touch upon the 1998 home run record pace, which was leading by Sammy Sosa and as well as Mark McGwire. For a lot of reasons back then, that was a historical race, trying to beat Roger Maris's Big 6-1, in which it was done so. Tainted, perhaps, but it's still noteworthy and talk about it, as it also brought back people from baseball from the lockout back in '94. Yeah, we're talking about, again, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. Sammy ended up with 66 home runs that season, and Mark McGwire with a big 7-0. Now, we're still early into the season. I mean, we're only, second week into May? So it's definitely way too early to talk about this, as hitters, they can cool off. Injuries could happen, which happens on a daily basis. But home runs, they are up this year. The reason for? It's still too early to tell. And it's still maybe too early to talk about a potential home run race after 30 years from the 1998 race. But we do have a group of hitters that are standing out this season that are on paces that could either come close to those records or shatter them. Now, at the time of this recording, we do have a handful of players in which it is a very tight race with this home run leaderboard. And to top things off, we're talking about Aaron Judge with 15, Murakami, new to the MLB, with 15, Matt Olson has 13, Schwarber 13, Yordan Alvarez with 13, Byron Buxton with 12 until he gets injured. Ben Rice also sitting around with 12 too. And as you see on the list that is presented before you, there are many others. But today, we're going to talk about those that have 13 home runs or more and what they could be on pace to reach this season. Perhaps record-breaking season. And first off, we'll talk about the big guy himself. 34 years old and aging like fine wine. We're talking about Mr. Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. Currently, he has 15 home runs, and he's on pace to hit 66 home runs. And that's not a far cry from 70. Not at all. So, if he keeps up with this pace with no injuries or no long bad streaks, the potential is there, and he's shown for it. Because back in 2022, he had hit 62 home runs. In 2024, if you remember right, he had hit 58 home runs in a season. Here's a little fun fact on top of that. Between March and April of those two seasons, he only hit 6 home runs, in which during those seasons, he got very hot and hit a lot of home runs. This season, he's just been very consistent with his power stroke, and he has doubled the amount of home runs that he had at this point to those previous seasons. So I'm very high up on him right now, where 66 home runs seems very true that he could hit, but we could see probably a lot more, something we've never seen in the MLB before. Now let's talk about Murakami of the Chicago White Sox. He is new to the MLB this season, but he has been a power horse in the Japan leagues. Same home runs as Aaron Judge, on pace to essentially hit as many as Aaron Judge has. But I don't think he's going to have the full power stroke to either match or surpass Aaron Judge this season. But then again, I could be fooled and wrong. In 2022, in the MPB, when only in 141 games, Murakami smacked out 56 long shots. Now, there were a lot of questions. Can his power transition into the MLB? Well, he has defined that already as occurring. But the question is, can he sustain this? Pitchers, they do get used to hitters, especially a second time around. They know how to pitch to that batter a lot better. Fielding-wise, Defensively, players, they will shift according to the batter, but we can't ignore the fact that his power is legit. Yes, batting average is not looking so hot as he's batting around, I think, 237. Cheat, had to look real quick. In the 2022 season, though, he was batting well over 330 for the Japan Leagues. So overall, there is quite a difference between the Japan Leagues and as well as the MLB for Murakami, but the only thing that's not different is his power stroke. As we know, he settled with the Chicago White Sox for a few-year deal, next to nothing for money, and his next contract, we know he's going to make some big money as long as he can keep up with this. Teams were a little skittish just to the fact that they weren't too sure on what his production was going to be in the MLB. But hey, Chicago White Sox could use him as some trade bait, and they're going to get a hefty load for him. And next, we're going to get into the Atlanta Braves and Matt Olson. First off, I'd like to send off my condolences to the Bobby Cox family, and as well as the entire Braves fan base and organization. True legend in our hearts. Matt Olson, 13 home runs already this season, on pace for 56 home runs. In general, Matt Olson is good for about 30 home runs or so, but his power swing has kind of been all over the map in recent years. In 2023 was his big season, in which he launched 54 home runs. Since that time, though, he's had 29 home runs for the 24 season and as well as the 25 season. This season, his power stroke is very similar to what it was back in 2023. His 6.3% home run rate is the highest that it's been since that time in 23. This season, a lot of credit is going towards his plate discipline and his swing mechanics for his new approach when batting, more than likely for the outburst of this currently home run pace. Then we have the never-aging Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber, last season, in every 10.8 at-bats, he averaged a home run. This season, he's averaging every 10.4 at-bats a home run. Now, he ended the season with 56 home runs last year, which I'm inclined to think he could potentially hit 60, 61, but he's currently on pace for about 58 home runs. Cubbies must be hitting themselves right now, just like the Minnesota Twins did back in the day when they released David Ortiz. You guys let go of Kyle Schwarber too, and look at what you could have had. And then last but not least, everything is not going right for the Houston Astros this season. However, there is one player, Yordan Alvarez, where everything seems to be clicking. Currently, he has 13 home runs and is on pace to hit a whopping 54 home runs in a 162-game season. His previous best season for home runs was back in 2022, in which he has hit 37 home runs. This year, it seems to be he's going to shatter it. Last season, he did have an injury-plagued season in which 6 long balls have left the field, and that was only left to his name. So this season, Alvarez is definitely making up for last season and tapping into the power stroke for this season. And currently, that's just to name a few. There's a few others that are a little bit further down on this list because it is a very tight race that one with just a hot streak can bounce out to be part of the crew that is looking to hit 50-plus home runs this upcoming season. As long as these hitters stay healthy and consistent, I definitely expect Aaron Judge and Murakami to go head-to-head with this home run race to the very end. But again, we're not going to leave out A, that it's still early into the season, and B, it's still anybody's game when it comes to the home runs. It's just really sad because there could be a potential lockout next season, and history shows that having home run races like this grabs national attention and also grabs a fan base because we all like seeing home runs. It's like a cool thing, you know? And if we have a lockout after a historical season that we are on pace for, I hate to see what it could do to the game. We saw it back in '94. Either way, let me know in the comments if there's another hitter that you think that's going to stand out beyond the rest. Or do you think we're going to have an epic home run season like we did back in '98? Well, the questions are still out there as things are still early. This is Ghost with Baseball.